Oh, God. Sheffield United. Sheffield United. Sheffield. Sheffield United at Old Trafford. Sheffield United are statistically the worst Premier League side of all time after 19 games, 20 games, whatever they've played so far. And we barely created a chance. We barely created a chance. I mean, there's a lot of players that have to, a lot of players that have to answer for their crimes today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Deep in the comments says top of the league, 7 incoming. Well, listen, I've said before, and I'll say again, Manchester City are the favourites. It was always advantage City after Man United drew Liverpool. Liverpool had to win that game. Man United were always third favourites for the league. We should be beating Sheffield United regardless of whether we're in a title race or not, whether we're second in the league or not, whether we can go top of the league with a win or not. We should be beating Sheffield United at home. That's it. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. But the fact that we don't beat Sheffield United today in a game where we are second in the league, we can return to the top. We know we've got a tough game on the weekend. We're on a good run, 13 unbeaten in the league. I think we've won 5 in a row. No, 4. It must be 4 out of the last 5 because, of course, we drew Liverpool. With all of that in the bank, on the back of a 3-2 win against Liverpool in the FA Cup, to not beat Sheffield United at home is an absolute embarrassment. And nobody's safe on today. No, everybody, to some degree, and some worse than others, and we're going to get into it, some worse than others, is at fault today. I want you guys to stay with me. I'm going to drop the link in the chat in a bit. And I want you to come in and share your views, etc. But I need to go through this and break this down. Player for player, we have to break this down. Because forget everything else. Forget the league position, forget the run, forget Sheffield United are statistically the worst team in Premier League history. And we couldn't beat them at home. We could not beat them at home. Let's start from the back. Start with David De Gea. I mean, he has this in him. David De Gea, give me a second, guys. I think my camera's a bit out of focus. Bear with me 1 second. David De Gea has this in him. He's a very good keeper. At times, he's world class. But one of his faults, and it's always been his faults from the moment that he joined this club, is the command of the area, the strength in catching high balls, punching, commanding, especially your 6-yard box, judging flight of the ball, when to come out, when not to come out. Shane, we're gonna get onto it. We're gonna get onto them players. We're starting from the back. So come with me. Talk about the players I'm talking about. We will get to the front line. We will, because that's where we're gonna really rest. He has to punch it. He has to punch it. All catch it, but I mean, it was difficult. However, it was a foul. I think it was Billy Sharp came in the back of him. How VAR doesn't see and award that, they can't say they didn't see it because they saw it. But how VAR doesn't award that is beyond me. But as a goalkeeper, you're going to get bumps and bruises. You're going to be knocked around a bit. That's, you have to expect that, and you have to be stronger. They say, take out everything. Granted, Billy Sharp came behind, but it's just I've seen this too many times from De Gea to just let him get away with it. However, we got the other end. Maguire doesn't even touch Ramsdale. The ball falls to Martial, he scores. Yeah, the referee blows for a foul. So there's already inconsistency there. If the other one wasn't blown for a foul, then I would blame De Gea even more, because you're saying, well, this is the referee decision and he ain't giving none of that. The keepers have to be better. David De Gea was actually hit. Ramsdale was not hit. Yet he gets away with that. However, We move on. David De Gea. Oh, and sorry, the second goal. It's a tough one. People are going to blame him for the clearance. Maguire was so close to him when the ball came to him that there's not much more he can do. The only other thing he can do is kick out for a corner. That's the only thing he can do because Maguire's so close. He can't just kick it up the pitch because it might hit Maguire. It could go anywhere. So he was it was hard to do what he did there. Then he gets very, very unlucky. But we're gonna get onto the defense. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't think he had a bad game. He was a decent outlet on the right-hand side, to be fair. Decent outlet on the right-hand side. Guys, if you're joining, hit the like button. I'm going to share the link in the chat in a bit. I just need to get through some stuff, and I want to hear what you lot got to say. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, yeah, he was a good outlet on the right-hand side. We didn't really get troubled in terms of defensively. He did his job. The difficult thing is we just don't have the real balance. He's not a great attacking fullback. He did a decent job today. There was a cross that at the start of the game where Rashford's on the edge of the area and he goes past the post. Rashford should hit the target, probably should score, but I can't really blame him today. Axel Tuanzebe was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. Make no bones about it. Let's not be here protecting players. They are Manchester United players. And this ain't to go and drag these players and start atting them on social media and sending them death threats. And no, it's not about that. But let's call a spade a spade. Axel Tuanzebe was terrible. Terrible. He got booked for that rash challenge. He made a half-hearted attempt to clear that ball and took a deflection off him and went in for 2-1. And he missed his header. Remember, forget David De Gea for a second. He missed the header. The ball went over his head for the opening goal. Axel Tuanzebe, he was poor. And other than that PSG game, he's been poor. He has been poor. Maguire, good game. Good game. I think there was two shaky moments. When it came to the second goal, when the little slight mix-up between him and David De Gea, the ball was bobbling around the area. I don't blame either one for that, really. And then there was an incident again where I can't remember who's the guy. I want to say Ampadu. Could be some. He was running right through the middle, and he was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know whether to go to the runner and leave whoever the man was on the left-hand side. And fortunately for him, when he finally decided to go anyway, what's his name? Bruno Fernandes made a storming run back, ran past everyone, ran past Matic, everyone, and then got the tackle in as Maguire was coming across. So I was a bit nervous at that moment, but other than that, Maguire had a decent game, and he got the goal. He got the goal that got us back in the game after a terrible first half. And I'm like, cool, back in the game, let's go and win it. I can't blame him, really. It wasn't great for the second goal, but there's so many other players involved and not doing anything that I can't really put it on him. Telles was good, but that was it. He got the assist for the goal across from the corner. Very good corner. He takes very good corners, very good set pieces. What he does, that Luke Shaw doesn't, is he gets those crosses from deep with good whip. But what he doesn't do that Luke Shaw does is go on the overlap and cross from the byline. You have to have both for me if you're going to be a complete fullback. Someone mentioned above, Cancelo's the best right back at the moment, and he's playing brilliantly right now. But he goes forward and back. He crosses from deep, he crosses from the byline, and of course he comes inside and we know he can get a goal. Telles, when he's crossing from deep, and this is what his game is. Let's go here. This is his game. And Shay, no, I agree. Maguire's passing, some of it was poor. Everyone's passing was poor, but you're right. Some of Maguire's passing was poor, but he wasn't bad. He didn't play bad today. He was all right. The issue is, and it's not Telles' fault, when Telles is crossing from deep, because he doesn't really go on the overlap. You need strikers in the box who are moving, who are given an option. And only when Cavani came on was that now an option. From both sides, we could cross from deep and someone's making a run to the near post. Martial is standing 2 yards away from Telles every time he has the ball. Who is in the area? We're going to get onto the strikers. We're going to get onto them. But I can't blame Telles for that because there's no one to aim to. However, he does need to go on the overlap. Luke Shaw, who's been much derided, has been very, very good this season. But I'm not going to do an Arsenal and be like, we lost this game because we didn't have Luke Shaw when they said our Tierney's out. No. If we're saying that our left back is the reason why we didn't beat bottom side Sheffield United, then we got bigger problems than we even think. However, just says the top fullbacks can dribble. You can't rely on crosses every time. No, I agree. 100%. Midfielders, Matic, non-existent. The man was getting pulled from pillar to post. I don't even know who was in the midfield for Sheffield United today. I didn't study their team like that. Maybe I should have. Maybe Man United should have. He was getting spun. He was getting run past time and time and time again. He was non-existent. I was surprised he stayed on so long. I thought McTominay would have come on or Van der Beek would have come on. We're going to get onto social substitutions in a bit. He was terrible. He was terrible. Dube says that needs to have a Jesus agenda. I do. But you're right. At least he's in the box. At least he's in the box. Kyle says Lord Lundstrom was in midfield. He was running rings around Martial. Oh, no, around Martial, Look at what my head is. Around Matic. Could not keep up. Paul Pogba had a decent game. Again, our passing, especially the first half, was terrible. Everyone. But everything considered, and the way there was real stinkers throughout the team, Paul Pogba had a decent game. I mean, he didn't do anything special, really. We expect more. This is Sheffield United, bottom of the league. I expect more. But there's certain players who I'm not going to go in on today because they have a little bit of credit in the bank. Pogba has a little bit of credit in the bank. Not a huge amount of credit because he's been in and out of the team in terms of for the last few years since Solskjaer's been there. He didn't start the season well, mitigating circumstances, COVID or whatever. But in the last couple of months, he has been brilliant. He's been our best player this month. He scored crucial goals against Burnley, against Fulham, West Ham in December. He's been very, very good. Very good against Aston Villa. He's got a bit of credit in the bank. I can't expect every player to be on their game every single time. I expect them to drop off. But what we need is other people to pick up the slack. That's where the issue lies. And that goes on to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has been sensational for 12 months. Absolutely sensational. He hasn't been great in January, yet he still had moments. He gets the assist for Rashford's goal against Wolves. Scores the penalty against Aston Villa to win that game. He scores the free kick against Liverpool in the FA Cup. He had a bad game today. Not a terrible game, but a bad game. Like on the ball, it wasn't great, but he worked. That's what Bruno always does. You see him running back, trying to tackle, get in amongst it. He does not stop trying. So when you're not having a good game, at least give it your all. I can never fault Bruno for that. And he has money in the bank. So I'm not going to fault him for having a bad week or a bad game or even a bad month, going through a bad run of form. That's always going to happen. These guys are not Messi and Ronaldo. It's not a week in, week out for 10 years thing. They're going to have bad games. I'm not going to come for Bruno Fernandes when there are 10 other people on the pitch, plus substitutes. Marcus Rashford, again, he has not had a great month. He's been effective. Very good game against Liverpool in the FA Cup. Scored a winner against Wolves in the last minute. Gets the assist against Burnley. But he has credit in the bank. So I'm not going to go in on today. He was terrible today. He was awful. I think there's mitigating circumstances why he was awful today as well. I don't even think he should have started. He's been carrying little knocks here and there, little injuries here and there. The embarrassing thing is, I'm going to say he shouldn't need to start against Sheffield United for us to win. But he started against Sheffield United and we still didn't win. We shouldn't need to start our best players against Sheffield United to win if we are being serious about challenging for a league title. I wanted Martial to start on the left and I wanted Cavani up front. I wanted Rashford rested for the Arsenal game. He should not have needed to start today. And to be honest, Bruno shouldn't needed to have started today either. This is Sheffield United, bottom of the league. I know things are maybe look worse for them than it actually is. They've lost a lot of tight games. They haven't been battered at all this season, usually by 1-goal margins. They needed something to go their way today, and they got lucky. They got lucky with the VAR. They got lucky with the deflection, with the deflected goal, but they defended for their lives. And Russia had a chance at the beginning of the game, and other than that, didn't really do anything. Didn't do anything. Mason Greenwood, our 3 players that started up front, he was the most effective. He looked the most dangerous, and he shouldn't have come off when he did. He shouldn't have come off at all. I'll get onto Solskjaer substitutions, but he did look good. He had a chance with the right with the right foot that went past the post. A few times he got on the right hand side, went to get a cross. He had a left-footed shot that was saved by the keeper, straight at the keeper. He looked at least the most lively of the 3. He was trying. Because he's the youngest and he's not playing the best this season either, I think it's easy to take him off. But for me, the guy who should have come off was Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial. What the hell has happened with this guy? What the hell? The man got 25 goals last season as a striker. 25 goals last season. Scored our first Premier League hat-trick since Robin van Persie against Sheffield United. You're right, Mawada. At least Rashford's going past players. You're right. You're right. The man has not done a thing this season. He got sent off against Spurs. That was the highlight of his season. Martial's not a striker. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. He's not our striker. He might be a striker elsewhere, but for a team, a club that should be winning Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, we can't do it with Martial up front. Impossible. Impossible for Martial to lead this team as a number 9 to a Premier League title. He's got 3 goals in all competitions this season. How many goals has he got in the league? Is it no? So it's 3 in the league this season. I'm not sure exactly how much in all competitions. 3 goals in the league. We're on game 20. It's embarrassing. I think Afterlin Skills is being sarcastic because there's no way you can say Martial's world-class still. He was never world-class to be world-class still in anyway. He was never world-class in the first place. World-class talent. Attitude all wrong. Work rate all wrong. And as a striker, he's never going to be that guy. He is never going to be that guy. Martial should be, and it is sad to say, it's really sad to say, Martial should be our second choice left winger. As it stands, Martial should be our second choice left winger. Erhan said, what does Cavani have to do to earn a start? Cavani has to be our first choice striker. But the issue is the man is 95 years old. In this COVID season where games are played, we got 2 games a week. He cannot start every game. So I can't say that Solskjaer shouldn't have played Martial against Sheffield United because he's not as good as Cavani. It's Sheffield United at Old Trafford. That's no excuse. Bread and butter. You win. Jagielka in defense. You can't even trap a ball. You're standing next to your left winger. He hasn't got money in the bank. I'm not going to give him a bly like I have Rashford, Bruno, Pogba to an extent as well, because he hasn't been good this season. At halftime, I was sitting there like at halftime. I said to myself, Martial needs to hold bench. Martial needs to hold bench. And if he got subbed for halftime, he could not complain. He couldn't complain, but we got to go back after halftime. I think 64 minutes, right back in the game. Should have gone on and won it. It was poor. It was poor. Cavani comes on. He's making movements. He's giving himself an option for crosses, for passes, as a number 9 does. Someone said above earlier, United need Kane or Haaland. We need a striker desperately. Cavani is too old to play week in, week out. We need a number. And the thing is, Solskjaer's wanted a number 9 from the moment he got here. We tried to get Haaland in January last year. Ended up getting Igalo. We know we wanted obviously Sancho in the summer, which we couldn't get. And I know he's not a striker. Ended up getting Cavani in the last minute. Solskjaer wants a number 9. Solskjaer has been asking for a number 9. And all we've got, and respect to Cavani because he is our best number 9. He's 35 years old. That's what he ended up with. Greenwood has to be a second choice number 9. That's it. That's it. This wasn't Haaland only 30 million in January. Yeah, but he wanted a release clause in his contract, so he can leave Dortmund not this summer coming up, but next summer. Talk about Solskjaer. I have no issue with that starting lineup. None. Absolutely none. We're 13 games unbeaten in the league. In that time, we've drawn 3 games. Away to Leicester, at home to at home to Man City, and away to Liverpool. That's not a problem. All 3 of those teams are in the top 4. One is first, the other is third. Liverpool are the defending champions. We've won 10 other games since we lost to Arsenal in November. Shane says Ollie rates Martial, plus he wants a right winger first. He wanted a striker in January. He does rate Martial, yes, but he's always, you hear when he talks about what he wants his strikers to do. He's like, they need to score more headed goals. I need them in the box, getting those scrappy tap-ins, etc. He's always said that. Martial is a talented player, but he's not a natural number 9. And there's some, as someone said earlier, Dupe said, I get onto Jesus. I do. Jesus has the instincts of a natural number 9. His finishing is just poor. That's his issue. He's not a natural number 9. That is Solskjaer's problem with Martial. But as I said, the team we put out, as Nomad says, Ollie was pissed. That team should whack Sheffield every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I don't want to hear that, why didn't we start Cavani? Why didn't we start Van der Beek? What we can ask for? McTominay and Fred. Lindelof or Bailly have to start to beat Sheffield United at Old Trafford. Next man going to be calling for Amad Diallo. Let's be honest. That team is good enough. That team is good enough and should, I say good enough. They didn't do it, did they? So let me rephrase that. That team should be good enough to beat Sheffield United every single day of the week. But you're right, Shane. His in-game management, in terms of timing of subs, needs to improve 100%. And it has improved. But it's games like this where you should be winning and things are, let's be honest, that first half was awful. The link is in this in the chat below. Join me if you want to have your say. Probably going to be on for another 15 minutes. The link is in, the first half was the worst I've seen in ages. Probably worse. The only worst was probably Spurs. Spurs, when we lost 6, I think we were 4-0 down at halftime, 4-1 down at halftime. But you have to make changes quicker. I would have brought on Cavani at halftime. He didn't do that. Cool. We got back in the game. Then we gave away the second goal. When that second goal goes in, you got to be sharp. Bring on Van der Beek. Take off Martial. Take off Matic. Bring on McTominay or whatever you want to do. You have to make quicker changes. What's Van der Beek going to do with 10 minutes? And he looked a bit lively. Nearly got an assist. Stole the ball inside the area, and Jagielka came in and cleared it before the cross came in. I think it was either going to fall to Rashford or Cavani. He made an impact. Solskjaer trusts a lot of these players to win us games because they have done that. As I said, 13 games unbeaten, 10 wins, 3 draws, and they were not bad draws at all. But there comes a point where you have to take charge as a manager. And maybe I hope this is a turning point or a wake-up call, I might say. A wake-up call for Solskjaer. That I can't just trust the players. I have to affect the game. You have to affect the game. What was the first? Bringing on Cavani affects the game. Cool, I agree. But 10 minutes for Van der Beek and Luke Shaw isn't enough. It's really not enough. He has to make those subs earlier. So as I said, everybody is partly to blame, 100%. No man says Ollie needs to hurt some feelings. 100% he does. Can't be no favourites around here when you're going for titles. Can't be no favourites around here. And I'm not even saying he has favourites, but he trusts these players to the end. And it might be to his end. It might be to his end. Let's be honest, guys. Listen, I never said at any point that we were going to win the title. I said we're in the title race. And 4 points, let's say 4 points behind. If Man City win the game in hand, which I expect them to do, Man City's got, well, we spoke about it earlier when we were doing the title race. And for me, it was 6 wins out of 6, 18 points that we're going to get in January. And then February is a bit of a tough month. We had to try and keep pace with them. We knew we were probably going to drop points to Liverpool. But losing this game is very, very detrimental. Man City have a buffer. They can drop 2 more games than us before we go ahead at them in the table. It's not good enough. But this is why I never believe we're going to win the title. In the title race, yes. But winning the title is a different level. It's another level. We are in a position, which I've said, we are in a position where we never expected to be this season. And I've said for weeks, the link is in the description, guys. Oh, not in the description, sorry, in the chat. I put the link in the chat. Let me put it in the description as well. If you want to join. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, we're in a position where we never expected to be. And I've said top 4 is still the priority. Top 4 is still the priority because as good as the league table looks, top 4 or 5th place ain't that far away. It's really not that far away. So we can't get too ahead of ourselves, but we still have to be honest. 1 point off the top of the table. Of course, they've got a game in hand. To say, oh, we're not in the title race is defeatist. And I think it's weak as a Man United fan. I think it's weak. But City are the clear favourites. They were the favourites once Man United and Liverpool dropped points against each other at Anfield. And they're even further. I mean, I still have Man United third favourites anyway. But if Spurs get anything against Liverpool, City are clear. City are clear. But that's just rip up everything that we've done in the last, we're saying mid-November, November, December, January. Last 2.5 months. No, it doesn't. Like when we drew, and I'm going to bring you guys in the back in a second. Like when we drew with, Man City after we got knocked out to Leipzig. The question, that was only going to be a good point, depending on how we respond. Then we drew with Liverpool, and we got 2 good wins after that. We drew with, so we beat Liverpool in the Cup, then we beat Fulham. How we respond to this loss is the only judgment I can make on this team. Today was bad, but this day was always going to come because we are not ready to win the title. Today just proved it. We could have lost today, or we could have lost to Arsenal. That loss was always going to come. How we respond to this is the main thing. But as far as today goes, embarrassing and not good enough. And these guys need a slap and a wake-up call. Tom, I'm going to come to you. What are you saying about today?
What do you really want me to say? To be honest, shambolic. Defence was terrible. It's been the downfall pretty much since the start of the season. We all knew it. It's not exactly been hidden even in the last couple of games. You know, I go back to such as Aston Villa. Some players not good enough, and people want to blame Twanzebe for tonight. I don't really blame him, to be honest, because when you've been out of the team for that long and then you just chucked in at the deep end out of nowhere. Here it's against Sheffield United. Sheffield United are in the Premier League. The Premier League is the Premier League. It doesn't matter. You can play the team at the top or the team at the bottom. The best two, it all depends on what happens on the pitch and what happens in the game. And if that team does better than you, and they deserve to win, which Sheffield United did deserve to win, you can't deny that. They took the mistakes that were made and punished them. That's the Premier League for you. And if you don't like it, then don't watch it. If you don't like it, then don't play in the league. It's as simple as that. But some of the, that second goal, wow. What can I really say? The first goal, I thought it was a foul and here. I'll be honest.
It definitely was. He should have been stronger, but it was a foul.
If they were gonna allow that goal, but they weren't gonna allow, say, the Martial goal up the other end, then
you have to do both. You either allow both, or you give a foul for both. But however, the Martial goal, the hair one, was worse. There was nothing in the Martial one. Maguire just jumped. The hair was actually fouled. But if you're gonna give both, if you're gonna give one, you have to give the other.
Yeah. You have to. It's something like be a penalty. If you're gonna go into the back of somebody and you're gonna give one week, then you've got to give it the other week. So like we say, but we can blame decisions and technology and referees all we want, but really, to be honest, it's the defence. We know it's been shambolic since the start of the season, to be honest. The first game of the season, Crystal Palace, that was a terrible performance. Tottenham completely, capitulated the defence. Went completely capitulated. But I've been saying it for a while, and people will say, oh, we're on this run, we're in the title race, this, that, and the other. Yeah, but the only reason why we're saying that we're in a title race is we're at the top of the table. Whoop-de-doo. Everton were at the top of the table 1 point, and people were saying that we're in a title race, this, that, the other. Where the hell is Everton at the moment? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And it can all change. I heard 3 weeks ago, Mikel Arteta, we're sacking him, this, that, and the other. He's still in charge.
And Frank Lampard was top, and he's been sacked.
This is what I mean. Yeah. So what's it going to be in 3 weeks? Ollie's going to be gone when if he sits in 10th place or something ridiculous.
So in terms of this game now, in terms of how the season shapes up now, do we go into the Arsenal game as a must win, as a bounce back after today?
You've got to. It's like everybody says, you're going into the game to win. Playing Arsenal, really, let's be honest in saying it, and I'm not disrespecting Arsenal in saying this, what do Arsenal really have to play for right now?
Yeah.
As of right now, they're not going to, if they win a game, they're not going to soar into the top four or claim top of the league, whereas with us, we've got the pressure of that. But, it's the small-minded players in this team, and the one thing that I've always stated about it is we haven't got a player in this Manchester United team who has won a Premier League or has won multiple Premier Leagues. And I know before somebody's criticised me saying, well, David De Gea has won, Matic, etc. Yeah, but I mean at Manchester United, who has won it with this club, not at other clubs, not Matic and Mata who's won them at Chelsea or God knows where. We've not got that player.
And this, I agree. And this is why it's always going to be difficult. It's like you have to get over that hurdle before you can get over the hurdle. And I mean, listen, as I said, and I'm going to get some more callers in a second. As I said, we're in a position that nobody really expected. Nobody expected us to be even challenging for title 20 games in. So obviously, if we fall off, which we will, because I think City will win the league, it's going to be disappointing because we had a chance mathematically, but you still have to look at it holistically. Have we progressed? Are we progressing? Yeah. One loss in 14 games. Is that reason to throw the baby out with the bathwater? I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying in general, we have to think about these things. Is it reason to throw baby out the bathwater, or do we need to refocus and say, well, we're going to lose games. We're not going to go on. This ain't. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to do unbeatable. We have to get back to winning ways ASAP. That's what we need to really look at. But listen, Tom, thank you for coming on. I'm going to bring some more people in. Obviously, bad day, but Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problems.
Shane, you're active in the chat. Man United 1, Sheffield United 2, bottom side, losing to so-called title contenders. What's your thoughts on the game? I don't know
Embarrassing.
where Shane. Oh, you're there. Okay.
Just embarrassing. There's one simple problem we have. We don't get the ball into the final third quick enough. That's a problem. Because we don't get the ball into the final third quick enough, and because of that, Bruno Fernandes has to drop deep so much. He has to come short to get on the ball. That's a problem. Because when you have to break down low blocks like these, you have to get the ball into the final third quickly so you can get into, goal scoring opportunities, and we just struggle with that. I feel a bit bad for Tellez because I think he's having to do more defensive duty than he would rather because we don't really have a mobile defensive midfielder. And yeah, just awful, dreadful.
I want to talk about, you made a comment in the chat saying Cavani should have started. I want to talk about our forwards. What are we going to do with Martial? Like, what does Solskjaer do at this point? He scored, I'm saying 3, but someone said it was actually 2 goals.
It's 2 goals and 3 assists.
2 goals and 3 assists in, I think he's played 16 games.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're over 20, we're over halfway. And what's supposed to be our main number 9, our top goal scorer from last year, has got 2 goals. What does Solskjaer do with him?
To be honest, I don't know. Because at the start of the season, I thought it was just bad form, and Ollie seemed like he was going to play him through it. But I don't know what's up with him. Even today, for me, I'm blaming him for that second goal. He gave the ball away in the first place, which led to them, getting into the position, and he didn't sprint back or nothing. So his move, he just doesn't have movement.
You look at that second goal. Bruno Fernandes comes in from deep, trying to slide in and stop the shot. Martial's standing, like just jockeying, thin air. There's nobody around him. He's marking space in the area.
Exactly. Having said that, the goal we still should have done better after that point. But he's the one who started them getting on the attack. I don't know what's up with him because the one thing I always praise Martial on is his finishing. Usually when he does get a chance, he does take it. This season, Jesus Christ, how many sitters this guy missed? I remember when we played West Brom and I think we beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
I remember he missed a chance against Johnston where it was practically a 1-on-1.
Yep.
He missed a few good chances against Leeds. His finishing's just
PSG. Let's be honest, PSG. Martial.
Oh my God!
Let's be real. Let's be honest. As much as you want to say Solskjaer should have taken off Fred shouldn't have got sent off. This, that, whatever.
If Martial scores that, we're through the next round. We're through.
Simple. Point blank period. Simple. It has not been good enough. It hasn't. We can get onto Firmino banter him.
I still think he's a future at this club, though. I just don't know if it's
it can't be
as a good player to have.
For me, Greenwood is the second choice striker behind.
No. I'm not saying as a striker.
I know you are. I know what you're saying. I'm just saying that for me, he is our second choice left winger this season. It's between, like, Rashford is the first choice.
On form, yeah.
You are the second choice. On form, yeah, 100%. Because, and unfortunately, we don't even have a right wing.
Do you think he could walk in a 2 up front with someone to link off?
I don't know, but it's not the way we're going to play because Bruno is playing in number 10. But the issue is we don't have a right-hand side. So we end up playing either Greenwood on the right or Rashford on the right to accommodate Martial's strengths on the left. But if he's not performing on the left, I'll rather put anyone else on the right than move Rashford from the left because Rashford has performed from the left this season. You play your best players in their best position and everyone else has to work it out. Everyone else has to fit in. So you put Bruno on the number 10, you put Pogba as the 6/8, you put Rashford on the left, Cavani
as a striker. Pogba on the right at times.
Well, he put Pogba on the right against Liverpool. He's put Pogba on the left and put like we've been accommodating. He's been accommodating people too much, and to be honest, we can't accommodate Martial no more. It's been enough. It's
no
been
excuses. No excuses.
Yeah, and I don't want to see. I'm not like this, because people do this, and anytime Bruno has a bad game, Rashford has a bad game with Maguire, people go absolutely off on them. So I don't want to. I'm not even going off on Martial for this game because anyone can have a bad game, but this is the 20th game of the Premier League season, so I'm talking about it holistically, and maybe you know what? I might even do another video just speaking about the season so far, and I can properly go in terms of analyzing these players.
Neeks, but we have to get used to this because let's be honest, we're not getting a striker in the summer. It's not happening. Haaland's not coming this summer. It's not happening. It'll be Cavani. It'll be Cavani. But Cavani can't start every game because he's injury prone.
And he's 35 years old or whatever it is.
Exactly. But he should have started today against the low blocks. Against the low blocks, Cavani should be started. No excuse.
No, listen, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that he should have been starting. But we still should win the game without Cavani starting. It's
of course. No, it's no excuse for the loss. But if Cavani's on, like the one chance we had. Do you remember when Telles clipped a ball over De Bruyne in the first half and he tried to lay it back to Martial, but it was slightly behind him? If that's Cavani, I can guarantee you he's attacking that.
Yeah.
He's attacking that. So
it's the instinct. They don't have the instinct.
Yeah. In fairness, the goal that Martial did score was kind of an instinct one, would you not say?
Well, I mean, he was there, yes. It fell to him. Like, okay, in the second half, there was a cross that Bruno made from the left-hand side. He took a deflection and spun off Cavani's foot and went out for a goal kick. Should have controlled it. But he's making that run to the near post. He did the same thing from the other side. I think Pogba was.
Rashford should have crossed it into him near the end of the game where he cuts it back.
He cut it back. But so there's 3 instances in the game, at least in that second half, where he makes a dart to the near post. I'm not seeing Martial make those runs. If the ball falls to him, it falls to him. But he doesn't make the runs where the ball might fall. That's my issue. As a number 9, he will never win us a major trophy. Do you
think it's his finishing or just his movement?
I think it's his movement. I think his finishing is a lot to do with his confidence. I think his movement is the biggest issue because you're not always going to get time to run through one-on-one and slot it past the keeper. As a number 9, you move one first time shot, boom. In the you don't get space in the box. But
the scrappy goal to the best.
So and I think that's his biggest issue in it. He's not a number 9. He did very well last season at number 9. And I think the confidence issue with him, whenever he feels challenged, and that can't work at Man United because it's always competition for places. As far as I can see, whenever he's challenged, his performances drop. When Sanchez came in, and to be fair, he shouldn't have been dropped at the time because he was playing very well, but he was dropped. He doesn't have the guts to fight back for his position. When Zlatan who took his shirt first? Zlatan took his shirt.
Took the number 9.
His confidence dropped. Then he built it back up again, playing on the left-hand side. Sanchez comes in, his confidence drops. Then he builds it back up again. He gets the number 9 shirt back. He's playing well. Cavani comes in, and his confidence drops again. Like, if that's your default position, whenever there's competition, I can't perform. You can't play for Man United because there should always be competition for places at Man United. And I've had enough of him up front. And if we're gonna, like as I said, top 4 is still the priority, but it's so close that we still need goals to get top 4. And because of that, he can't start up front anymore this season. Sad to say, but I'm not saying drop him eternally.
Do you not think he could work in the big games where we're slightly more under pressure and he can hold the ball up and he'll get more space to run?
I understand that in that point, but in those big games, we're creating 2 or 3 chances max. Is he going to be there? Is he going to take it? That's the issue. So I get
your point. It's just I'm just bringing another argument into the debate. That's all.
No, I hear you. I understand. And I know what he brings, even outside of the striking instinct as holding up the ball. Today's
He
holding up
works well
play.
for a France team. He would work well for France.
Well, listen, his hold up play today was awful anyway. So you didn't even have
it
that
was
element.
dreadful.
But in those big games, Cavani can hold it. He's not as good as, but he can hold up the ball very well. He can still link the play, but you know that he's going to be in the positions. He's going to be in the position to take the chances, and that's the problem with us at the moment. We need a goal scorer through the middle. Cavani is the man, but he can't play every game, so everyone else is going to have to step up. I put out a tweet earlier, and I'll leave it here with you, Shane. I put out a tweet. I said Rashford has stepped out this season. Bruno has stepped up this season. Pogba has stepped up this season. When will Martial, and I put in brackets, Greenwood, when will they step up? Because we can't have 3 people carrying us all season when Man City are balling out. They're balling out.
I think it's very harsh to put it on Greenwood. He's a kid. I think it's harsh to put pressure on him like that.
No, I understand.
And Martial did.
I'm not saying he does need to step up. He had a very good season last year. He needs to progress. You know, Saka's playing well. I'm not saying we should rely on him, but I still want a bit more from Greenwood. He's come into a little bit of form now, and maybe he's gonna have a good second half of the season. But 100%,
context needs to be taken into it.
Yeah. There's a lot of off-field things that's happened with Greenwood as well. A lot of off-field film. But listen, Shane, thank you for joining me today. Guys, listen, we lost, didn't it? We lost. We're 1 point behind City. Leicester drew, so we're still second in the league. Spurs and Liverpool are playing tomorrow. I was expecting us to win today. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting us to win, and I wanted Spurs to then beat Liverpool. Now I want to draw. Now I want to draw. I need both of them to drop points because, as I said, top 4 is still the priority. We have to get top 4 this season. Charlie says, we all fair and knew this game was coming. Arsenal was a big game. Well, it's now a monster match. Agreed. I expected to win this game. Arsenal game was always going to be tough. Even if we won this game, Arsenal, we haven't got a good record in the league against Arsenal under Solskjaer. We haven't got and especially at the Emirates, it was always going to be a tough game, should I say. So they are on form. This loss, I mean, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how this team can react to this loss. The last time we lost, we did 13 games unbeaten, 10 wins, 3 draws, through in the FA Cup, of course, out of the Carabao Cup in the semi-finals. It's been a good run since November. We need to get right back on that horse and put another run together, or we're going to be in a battle for top 4 once again. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Hit that right now. Hit subscribe if you're new. Share the content on all your social media, and I will see you soon. We're going to be doing a match preview, me and Ramsey, for Arsenal versus Manchester United, which is on Saturday, the match. So we're going to do a preview either tomorrow or Friday. More like Friday, we're going to do a match preview for that. Massive, massive game. Monster game, as Charlie said. But today, massive upset. Bottom side, Sheffield United beat title challengers Manchester United 2-1 at Old Trafford.